Welcome to another episode of It's a Jungle Out There. I'm your host and queen, Maria Tabraue. As you know by now, the show is about kings and queens living, excelling, and thriving in their jungles. Today's guest, Carmit Bachar, has graced the covers of fashion Bibles like Harper's Bazaar and Glamour, Dance from the Stars like Beyonce and Ricky Martin, is an OG member of best-selling global pop group the Pussycat Dolls, and has an origin story that made the woman that sits here with us today. Let's get right into it. Welcome, Carmit.
Hello.
Hi.
Thank you for that
Nice to have
intro.
you here.
I
You're
love
welcome.
it. Yes, queen.
Tell us how you came to be the queen in your own life today.
Well, I love the title queen. I think women are queens, right?
Yes.
We give life, and it's a big responsibility to take on everything that's going on in the world, along with the desires and the things, and finding our purpose, right, in this world. So that in itself is the biggest job. And then we're mothers, right?
Yes.
So there's
Mothers,
layers.
wife, lovers.
Right. Layers
Etc.
of things.
Yes, layers.
And then to leave your mark on the world and what you want to leave as a legacy. So I think for me, just perseverance and my experience and the wisdom that I can offer and share with people. I mean, what I love doing is performing, but I also love connecting with people and inspiring people to be the best version of themselves.
What do you love to share with people?
Well, I think for me, my struggles and everything that I've been through, to show people that they can turn things around for themselves. We all have something that we're going through in this journey we call life.
What struggles have you been through in your journey?
Well, I was first and foremost, the first thing that I was born with was cleft palate and cleft lip. So that was, day one. I had first even, I mean, it's ongoing really, but the first about 19 years of my life was filled with doctor's appointments and surgeries and things that I think a child, you wouldn't want them to have to go through. So it's been a lot, but I think it built the character and it made me who I am today.
It made you more strong.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, you look beautiful.
Thank you, you too.
Okay, let's look at one of your darkest moments and how you came out on the other side more resilient and powerful.
Wow, one of my darkest moments. I mean, I think we all have, mountains and valleys of things in our life that we go through. But I would say one of the darkest moments was actually 2020 was intense for me. I went through somewhat of a health crisis, but really it was layered with like spiritual, mental, physical, all together. And it really took a lot for me to dig deep. I've always been very upfront, communicative about things that are going on in my life or dealing with things. I address things, if you will. I don't let things fester.
Them.
Absolutely. But for myself, I've always felt like I was aware of what's going on, but there were so many layers of things. And I think added with the stress of the world and COVID.
When you mean layers, what are you talking about? Layers from your past, layers from work, layers?
Sure. I mean, in general, the bigger picture is we all have a lot of healing to do.
Right. Yes.
So many layers of that. And a lot of times, a lot of things are not even, they're still uncovered to ourselves. There are things that we don't even know that we don't know, that are there that...
or there are things that we might block sometimes because we don't
Yes.
want to deal with them at the moment.
That part too. But at some point they will come up. They will be revealed, and they will, or it's a pattern that keeps coming up in your life, right?
If you don't address them, they will come up.
Totally. So it was things like that. And one of the big things actually, which I had no idea, was that I had never dealt with the childhood trauma of all the surgeries that I went through because of cleft. So here I am thinking like, oh, I'm a warrior. I survived. I created this life for myself, and everything is like moving forward, and that's in my past. But no, it was there were compounded memories that I didn't even know that I was creating more trauma, which actually was, they say somatically lives in your body. So you store it in your body somehow. And it was all kind of, like I said, with what was going on with COVID and Black Lives Matter, like all the things were just kind of, I think, aggravating the stress.
Did you show it in your behavior? Or
it wasn't in my behavior except for the fact that I had major anxiety. which, you know, anybody knows if anxiety is left untreated, it becomes depression, and then there's the trickle
And you
effect.
have even pains in your body, trauma.
Well, I didn't know where they were stored necessarily because I didn't feel them, but I knew that once I started going through the healing process, things were shifting. I think anxiety is something that a lot of us have felt recently with everything that's going on in our lives. I mean, there's so much going on energetically even, you know, that it's our bodies are not really conducive to that fast pace, you know, constantly. And there's so much going on our phones and distractions, and your mind's thinking 1,000 miles an hour. And it's like, how do we get back to that stillness? How do we get back to that sense of peace? And for me, that's what this past year and or so too now, I can't believe 2021's almost over, but has been really about getting back
Finding yourself?
Yeah, for sure, finding myself, but creating more of a sense of peace. Because I feel like we were going down this crazy, like, high-speed chase in life, and all of a sudden, yeah, COVID hit, and it was like, okay, stop, take stock of what's going on and what's really important for you to maintain your own sanity, you know. And anxiety is
and reevaluate yourself.
Yeah,
as a person.
Absolutely. It's a lot. It's a lot. We have, you know, you're the queen of the jungle. You run this. You are a mother. You have grandkids. It's like amazing what we all can do and produce in life. But we ourselves have to be good too inside.
But I can tell you as an experience, even though I'm all that, I suffer from a lot of anxiety. Mm-hmm. But I hide it well.
Yes. Yeah.
I hide it well, but I do suffer from it.
Yeah, it's deep.
But how I deal with it is through yoga and meditation.
Absolutely. That's a huge factor for me too. I mean, but I remember there was a time when I would do yoga and I'd feel so peaceful. I'd come out and then have like a full-blown anxiety panic attack. I'm like, what the hell? So then there's like, is it hormonal? Is it this? Is it that? There's so many levels to it. You don't know. Yeah, so I'm grateful though because I'm on the other side. I also, you know, I was having tinnitus, which is like a ringing in the ear, which I talked about in some of my other interviews and things, and I've shared, and I still want to share more with people kind of about that journey because that created more anxiety for me.
What is it like?
It's like, you know, in the movies when you hear like after a bomb goes off and they hear this loud, high pitch ringing in the movies, and they're always like, it's like living.
But does it happen all the time, or does it happen through an episode that you might have of anxiety? Or
I was having it all the time. And it was literally to the point where I couldn't see how I could live the rest of my life like that. And that was one of the darkest moments for me. It was deep. Through sort of a backwards scavenger hunt, I figured out with integrative doctors that I had an abscess under my root canal that I had no idea. I had no pain, so I didn't know, but it was creating an infection, which went to the back of my brain, created inflammation, which I assumed triggered the tinnitus. So I'm learning more about brain. I've learned more about brain health. And I've learned about the tooth-body connection, which a lot of people don't realize.
Yeah, it's incredible how the body works. And everything is intertwined and connected.
And it'll tell you. It'll alert you.
It'll alert you.
Yeah, and so anxiety is kind of a symptom of all of those things. That's what I mean by layers, right? Yeah. So and that's what makes us queens.
Exactly. We need to deal with it and move on. Given the greatest changes globally in 2020, from the pandemic to social justice, how has your view on life changed and the way you lead your daily life today?
I think I've always pretty much been the same person, but more so than ever, I think as a whole, society is seeing that we need to be more patient with each other. We need to have more compassion, more empathy. And unfortunately, it has polarized us more. You know, everybody's either on this side of things or this side of things, whether it's political or the vaccination.
We have
or
different views.
It's just really intense, and ultimately we just need to come back together. And you know, it's like, it sounds corny, but we all need a hug, and we need to like be able to communicate and accept each other's views, and agree to disagree. And it's hard because that's a factor in stress too, and anxiety.
Yeah. So you think you have found your balance in life?
I have. Right now I'm in a really good place, and I practice my gratitude every single day, not just saying it, but actually experiencing it, like feeling that feeling of gratitude, because we do have an abundance of good things in our lives, you know, from family and friends and health. I'm grateful for all those things, you know, and career and all that is on top of it.
Right.
It's not like priority. It's like, what are your passions? Your passion, you know what I mean? We're sitting in it and it's amazing. Every time I come here, I'm just like, wow, it's a beautiful space and energy, and animals are just the biggest connector to life too. So, I mean, I admire you. I respect you for everything that you've done in your career, but it's like, I can tell though you're at peace too. You know, you have a beautiful environment and people that support you, and that is really the most important thing. So
But every day is like a working process.
Yes.
Have you found that your career? You found that you're a good place in your career now, or the way you run your life today?
That's a loaded question, because career-wise, you know, you feel like you're on this trajectory and then something kind of stops, does something that throws you off your track, right? Just like what's going on right now with the Pussycat Dolls is very interesting, because I really am out of control of what's going on. And to tell you the truth, it's just disappointing, because I know that we should be and could be on tour right now.
You want to relate a little bit about that?
I can't say too much, because the reality is I don't know what's going to happen. But I am disappointed, you know. We should be out there.
Well, hopefully it all works well for everybody.
Yeah.
Anything else that you have cooking? Any
Yes.
other projects?
Oh, yes. So I just happen to have a box right here. But this is my new project. And actually it came off the heels of last year. I created this box, a different box. This is a new version. But it was based on tools that I use to kind of help me get through everything that I went through. I'm, you know, spiritually, I love, you know, candles and crystals and sage and all
like
that.
me.
Yes.
If you walk around my house, you
Yes.
see I have
Oh, yeah.
crystals. Sage.
Yes, very important. And you know, and it's not, it's something that universal, that everybody can kind of feel energetically. So it was a cleansing box where you could cleanse your spirit. It was a smudge spray that I had, and a cleansing candle, and there's sage and crystals. This is a version of it. This is called the R&R, Restore and Recharge box. And so basically there's a candle, delicious with neroli and grapefruit. This is a lavender hydrosol, which is essential oil, 100% lavender. And then Palo Santo, selenite. We got some rose quartz and amethyst, little heart pocket stones, so you can keep them anywhere where stay on you. And then a lovely sage. My daughter handpicks these like affirmation cards. So everybody gets a very different one.
She picks one of them and she puts them in the box.
Yes, she handpicks them, and then
Who
I have.
helped you design the box? Yourself?
Yeah, I did it myself, and it's just a sort of a way to hand curate something that like was easy for me, easy enough that, and I've been giving to my friends, and then I felt like I was like, well, let me have an opportunity to let other people have it.
So have you marketed? Is it out there? Is it on Amazon? Where is
Yes,
it?
right now, no, it's on, if you go on my Instagram page, you'll see the link at the bottom. I am The Real Carmit on Instagram, and that's CARMIT, pretty much on all the platforms, the same. And there's a link to the box there.
And you can purchase it there.
Yes.
Nice.
Yes. So
Okay,
that's
I'll
my
make
new
sure to tell my
project.
sister. So do you have anything else that you're working on?
I feel like I'm always working on way too many things, right?
Yeah.
But that's kind of how we are, right? We like our hands in many pots. I'm actually starting to work on some new music, which I'm really excited about.
Solo music?
I've always been wanting to do music that just is not like with the goal to put out, but more so something that's really fulfilling, soul fulfilling. So that's been a passion project of mine. So there's no really deadline or date that I'm going to be putting out, but I know my fans will be excited to hear that. And then I have a couple of projects, TV projects that I'm working on. So I'm always kind of interested in new creativity and new pods, because I feel like that's where your inspiration comes with, you know, new people that kind of fuel you. So yeah, unfortunately I can't talk too much about it, but it feels good to be busy again after COVID and everything.
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah.
Everybody's out there
Yes.
trying to see what they can do and
Oh.
invent. Where can your listeners, viewers, find out more info on you and follow you on social media?
Well, of course, as I said, following me on social media on all the platforms. I'm at The Real Carmit, Carmit. And yeah, I have fun on TikTok with Kayala as well, my daughter. And, we're just trying to stay having fun.
Thank you for being in my show. And I hope to see you again with many projects in the future.
Thank you, Queen.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us today, Carmit. We all look forward to seeing the dolls on tour very soon. As always, like, subscribe, and comment on this video. And remember, you can listen wherever you get your favorite podcast. Till next, stay wild, strong, and empowered. I am Maria Tabraue, and remember, we're all kings and queens in our own jungle. Stream this and new episodes wherever you listen to your favorite podcast.